In this video, I want to show you how to make some custom YouTube thumbnails in Final Cut Pro. Primarily, I want to show you how to make this thumbnail. The thumbnail for all of my Final Cut Pro 10 tutorials. The thumbnails are very identical, they're just a couple little things are changed. So I'm going to show you how I create this really cool looking thumbnail, because it's honestly a lot more complex than you actually think. There's a lot of time and effort that goes into this. The primary reason why I want to make this video is, first of all, just show you how I make this thumbnail, but hopefully with this tutorial, as you're watching this tutorial, maybe you'll get some really cool ideas to create some really cool thumbnails in Final Cut Pro, because I did not know this feature existed. So what you want to do, you want to either find an image, a single frame from a video, just find something you want as a background. So as you can see, these are all still images from previous videos. So find a text, a video, whatever you want as the background. It's all a personal preference, whatever you think looks good. So whether it's a frame from a video, an image, whatever it is, it's all up to you. So what you want to do is you want to press the M key, whatever you want to do, the M key. Basically, the M key just says that's the marker, so that's where I want the frame to be. All I'm just doing is I'm just cutting the clip up just to make it a lot easier. Primarily, what I like to do is I like to have the clip about 4 seconds long. So let's see how long. So it's about almost 4 seconds. A little over 4 seconds. So that's about usually how long I want it, because usually when you import an image, it's 4 seconds long. So what I want to do is what I usually do is I'll take the single frame, and then what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste it, put it on there, and then I'll just change the text, and there you go, voila, I just created the thumbnail. But I want to show you how to actually do it from scratch. So this is the image, a single frame from your video, a picture, whatever this is your background. This is the main thing you want. There is a couple of things you can do with this, but I'll show you that later on. What you want to do is, this is all a personal preference. I'm just showing you how I do it. So what I like to do is I actually like to take a black background. As you can see, there's a black background right here, and then I'll drag the black background. As you can see, look, this is 4 seconds long, so it's just I'll just fit it just to make it look a lot nicer. That's why I always keep it about 4 seconds, and it's a little over 4 seconds, but 4 seconds is just the average. So here's the black background. You say, okay, well, that's great, but I can't see the background. What you want to do is you want to head over here to the effects panel, take the opacity and drag it down. So that just creates a darker image, because you want your background dark, just because you just don't want to blend it with the text. Let's see the opacity. So the opacity is 46%. So let's see how low we had this. 27. So I'll crank it usually around 40%. Again, personal preference. I might turn it down because this image is all already dark. So as you can see, that's why the first thing I do is I create a black background just to make the image a lot darker, just so it looks a lot nicer. Now, this you can't find this anywhere. This is I'll tell you kind of how I did it. I'm not going to go into the full depth of how I made this, but basically what I just did is, if you have Photoshop or you know anyone who's good at Photoshop, I just found a Final Cut Pro logo PNG off of Google. Then I went into Photoshop. As you can see, if you really look closely at it, it actually doesn't look that good. But I positioned it in a way where it actually kind of looks good. But as you can see, I took Photoshop, I cut it out, I created this white outline. I made a video actually how to create this Photoshop tutorial, so definitely go ahead and check it out. But I took the logo, cut it out in Photoshop, and then I put the logo on a green screen. So hopefully that made sense. This is a PNG image from Google. I cut it out in Photoshop and then put it on a green background. That way I can use it as a green screen. As you can see, this was never cut out. Again, if you really look closely at my thumbnails, you can see you'll notice stuff like this, but it's very few people will even notice it. So there you go. So this is what I do. I head over here to the effects panel. What I'll do is, I made a video on this before. That video has like 11,000 views. But I'll take the green screen right here, the keyer, I'll drag it on. Voila, that looks beautiful, right? Well, you ask yourself, wait a minute, how in the world do you get this into this? Well, I'll show you. Because it's a green screen, what you want to do is you want to go over here to the transform tool. Then you want to take the image and just resize it however big you want it. As you can see right here, that's missing because that part is green. So the green screen also took that out too. So what you want to do is you want to resize it however big or small you want it. Then take it and drag it. As you can see right here where the green has disappeared, all you gotta do is boom. There we go, it's hidden. So you have absolutely no idea. I think I made a video talking about this before, but you have absolutely no idea that that was actually a green screen. So there you go, it's hidden. I just transformed it, resized it, and moved it over to hide this so you can't see that that was green screen. So there you go. That's how complicated that Final Cut Pro logo. It probably took me weeks to figure that out, figure out a cool way of doing it. But there you go, that's how I created it. Now what you want to do is head over to text. Now what you do this again, so this is what the image looks like right now. What you want to do is you want to head over to text. I just use basic title, and I'll drag the basic title on right here. And there you go. And just to, I'm not sure if you noticed it, but there's a little bit of background noise right here. I'm trying to do this while there is a little bit of construction, so hopefully, I'm not sure if you heard that in the background, but I just want to clear that up. But there is a little bit of construction, and you might hear a little bit of background noise, so I apologize for that. So what I'm just doing is I'm just taking the text right here, and then I'm just using Command B, the blade tool, to get rid of the text. So there you go. So the text is completely lined up with everything. So as you can see, that looks beautiful, right? All we got to do is just leave it here, and there you go. As you can see, this looks completely identical. Nothing to worry about. I hope that was sarcasm. Please don't ever make your thumbnail look like this. As you can see right here, there you go. There's two titles. Now, I probably won't go through a complete in-depth tutorial. This takes a long time. But once you kind of have a preset, then you can mess with it later on. So let's just call this, I don't know. I'll put the caps lock on and press type in blur effect. I think that's how you type blur effect. So there you go. So that's right there. And then I'll take this one, and I'll just name it tutorial. I think I spelled that right. Spelling is not even remotely close to my strong suit. Now what you want to do is you want to transform it, and since you can see this is the top one, you want to bring it up here. This is always the fun part, to mess with this. So here's the middle. Let's drag it somewhere around here. Again, you can play with it, and the middle is right here. So there you go. That's very, very close, generally about the middle. Probably right about there. Now, this is the text that I use. Go ahead, I think the size is 250, I believe. Yeah, 240, so somewhere around there, 250. So I'll go ahead, take the text, bring it up to, let's say, 240, and I'll see what the bottom one is. I can't remember. 240, the bottom one is, okay, so the bottom one's always smaller. So let's bring this up to, I don't know, 220, and let's take this and drag it down right here. Now what I like to do is I like to go here, and I'll find the text name Futura. Once you're in Futura, so I'll do it again right here. I'll go and find Futura. There we go. Head over here to condensed extra bold. This one is also going to be condensed extra bold. So as you can see, okay, there you go. Now it's looking very similar to what it looked like before. Now what I'll do is I'll head over here, and I'll check on the outline, the glow, and the drop shadow. Now go ahead, press on show. I think there might be a better way to do so. I think you can click on here. You could do that, but there you go. So boom, I turned it white. I'll show this, and I'll change this one to white, and I'll show the drop shadow, and I'll turn this to white. So there you go. That, I think, let's make sure that's all correct. I may have missed. I know one of them is black. Again, I haven't done this in a long time. It's been all presets. Okay, so the drop shadow, I make the drop shadow black, or else that just kind of looks a little weird. So let's go back to drop shadow and change the drop shadow to black. Now what you want to do is you want to head over to the other text and do the exact same thing. Click on drop shadow, glow, outline, go to show, change the first two to white, just so it looks, the text will look a lot more 3D. And there you go. That already looks, as you can see right here, look, that already looks almost completely identical. Now, you ask yourself, okay, well, why is this text straight, and why does this text have this weird kind of distorted look? So let's go ahead here and literally head over to the transform tool over here and click on distort. Now, what you want to do, I'm not going to go through the full thing, but there you go. Now you can kind of distort it. And at the end of the day, you can kind of mess with it. Let me just move this around so I don't keep messing with this. At the end of the day, I like to, again, I won't go through the entire thing of how to do it, but there you go. That looks maybe a little bit better. I'll maybe bring this down a little bit more, and I'll put it here. Maybe I'll bring it down a little bit more, and then I'll change this one, head over to distort, and maybe something like this. Again, I'm not going to go through the full tutorial because it took me forever to finally get it, but I'll just kind of give you some ideas. So there we go. That looks close enough to how it is. At the end of the day, it's your own personal preference, but that's how I get the text. Actually, honestly, that actually kind of looks pretty cool. So what I also like to do is I like to go to the transform tool back, and just to make sure, okay, that's in the middle. Let's go ahead and check this one. There you go. Now that's in the middle. And as you can see, that actually looks pretty cool. I'll go ahead and just maybe mess with the distort a little bit more. I'll bring it down because that kind of looks a little bit weird. But as you can see, I'll go back to transform to make sure it's all centered. But as you can see, there you go. Here's the original one. Here's the one we just did. Almost completely identical. Again, there's more stuff you can adjust, but that's how I create that really cool distorted look. The last thing I do to make this look really cool is I'll head over here and go to blur. Now you can use this one, which will blur out the complete background, or you can use focus. I'll do this one first, so drag it onto the background. As you can see, the background is blurred. Command Z, undo it, or you could do focus, and that honestly looks pretty cool. So that's how I create this really cool thumbnail look for YouTube. Again, you could take nice steps, you could change it a little bit, you could do whatever you want, but there you go. Now I've created a thumbnail in Final Cut Pro. All you want to do, head over here, head over to save current frame. You can name it thumbnail test, and then just go ahead and press next, and it'll save it to downloads or wherever you want. There you go, it's rendering. Give it a second or two. There you go. So there you go. So I'll close it. I'll literally show you how to do it. I'll show you where it is. Let's head over to downloads, and let's see if we can find it. There we go. There we go. That is the thumbnail, and that is literally how I create all of my thumbnails for Final Cut Pro. Hopefully this tutorial was really helpful and really informative. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm giving away a Google Home Mini once I reach 1,000 subscribers. See you guys in the next one. New Final Cut Pro tutorials every single day. See you guys in the next one. Peace.